Ooh, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Long Time Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to the morning. We got /CL with a super aggressive sell-off just to kickstart the morning off right. Crazy movement just to put in. Wow. Okay. There it goes, and it looks like my TOS might have not been updating. Here it goes. Ridiculous. Absolutely crazy movement. Because of that, I'm not going to touch DWT, UWT. It's just too volatile for me. There's nothing wrong with that. I wanted to get your guys' input on /NG. /NG has been an overall uptrend since around 2 o'clock. It's been making these higher highs and higher lows. It pulled back quite a bit, no question about it. It's right around that middle VWAP. It's trying to find somewhat of a support, but it's not recovering. So let me go ahead and move this here. Boom, boom. All right, I just want to make sure that we're all good to go here. Okay, here we go. So possible, yeah. As of right now, one of the things that we have to take into consideration is that it's continuously been getting rejected by that EMA line. You can see that every single time that it tries to reverse, it has not been able to really make higher highs or pull back and validate that EMA line as a support. So if we go on the 1 day, 5 minute chart, this might be a little bit easier to see the reversal on if it actually happens. But as you guys could see during the whole pre-market session, it was doing a very beautiful job showing signs of, these higher highs and higher lows. There's no question that natural gas for the past 5 to maybe 7 days has been extremely, extremely bullish. Can it be due for a pullback? Of course. Yesterday is a perfect example, and every single day it's pulled back in some form of way. So again, what does that mean? If something is to pull back, what are 2 things you want to ensure you do? So I'll say the first one. Regardless of it being actively uptrending, you want to make sure that you manage your risk, right? Because there can be a break of pattern or that pullback. Therefore, you want to make sure that you manage your risk in some form of way. And exactly, just like you guys are saying, you also want to make sure that you lock in profit at any indication of a potential reversal. By the hype. No, Ryan, not that. But look at this. Look at crude oil. Wow. Yeah, I have crude oil on my second screen over here. And look, this could be so discouraging for someone that might gone in for that DWT position, because it would have shot DWT in your favor. And then now not only did it recover, but now it exceeded the recovery of before that initial drop. And this is a perfect example. This is one thing that I want you guys to take into consideration, and you guys can ponder on it throughout the day. But this is a perfect example of there's no question that you can make money on crude oil, but it comes at a great form of risk. I'm all for trading crude oil. You guys know that I am, when there's a consistent pattern and it makes sense. I'm not saying that this doesn't make sense. I'm saying that it comes at a greater risk. And if you choose to take a position, then again, you choose to take on that risk and you better manage it, or you might get eaten up, right? So one of the things that I want to present, if this is moving too aggressively for you, just like it is for me, then it's probably best to just stay away from it. So I don't even want to spend too much time on that, because it is very, you are very tempted as it becomes a little bit more volatile to take that position. So I feel like there is a much more, and again, this is just my opinion, consistent pattern on natural gas. And that's just me. So I'm going to see if we actually begin to pull back, consolidate, and actually begin to make higher highs on natural gas. That would be, I did take a position during normal market hours. As you guys can see, it wasn't a huge position. It was 2,000 shares of UGAS, and it was very short. I think it was about like 3 minutes long. Here it goes. 2 minutes, pretty much, really just 1 minute and 26 seconds. 1 minute and 26 seconds. I made $160. And that was at 6:49 and sold at 6:51. So It wasn't the most successful trade or anything like that, but it was just to get a feel of it. It was just to get a feel of natural gas as it was formulating this potential reversal. I saw it forming this peak formation, so then I just locked in profits. And then, yeah, I could have made maybe a little bit more, but it doesn't matter. I saw it getting rejected, therefore I wanted to do my part in locking in profits. So here it goes. Let's see, what do you guys think about natural gas? Do you think that we're actually going to make higher highs here? Do you think that it's going to continue to sell off? Do you think it's going to consolidate? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to get a proper indication that, hey, it might not be the worst idea to follow natural gas in some form of way, right? Oh, it's pulling back. Confirmation of higher highs. I like that. Okay, I like that. So I'm waiting for you guys to touch the bottom VWAP like the past 2 days. Okay, so you're still waiting for it to sell off. That's interesting. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, so you guys think it's going to drop down to 1650, 1644? Okay. I don't know. I think right now it's going to be a pretty crucial point on how it trades. That MACD on the 1 day 5 minute chart looks pretty decent. We'll see if we actually begin to push and make higher highs. Are you guys excited? We got the crude oil report as well today. How many of you guys are excited for that? How many of you guys are trading UWT and DWT or any form of crude oil? Anything? Kira, okay. We got at least some excitement. Looks like /CL is pulling back right now. We got rejected off of that middle VWAP. Here it goes. It looks like you guys are still trying to push up. Okay. All right, what's going on? Tim, Kira, Jesus is waiting for higher highs. There it goes. We're at previous highs. So you guys see that? Always, I like that, Oscar. There it goes. Higher highs based off of previous panels. So it pulled back, bounced off the EMA line, and actually pushed up. We'll see where it goes from here. This puts you guys at, okay, almost right around $17. What's going on, Timothy? What's up? There it goes. Crude oil is selling off like expected. Got rejected off that middle VWAP and pulling back right now. Based off of its performance right now, it's not looking very promising. And because of these aggressive sell-offs, especially on these crucial points of, 5 o'clock, and then what was that? 6 o'clock it pushed up, and right around 7 o'clock it had an aggressive sell-off. It almost gives you signs that it might be a little bearish for the crude oil report. So be careful, be wary. Let's see. We'll have to see. We have to give this a little bit more time. And again, even if you don't take part of this position, just think about how aggressive natural gas was pushing up yesterday. Like, you guys have time, right? And if the time doesn't come, or if the opportunity doesn't come, then simply don't take a trade. I know that's annoying to hear, and you guys are like, well, Ricky, we're here to trade. You guys have to be realistic with yourself, right? And realize that not every single day is going to be a day that you're presented an opportunity. A lot of you guys have been doing so well recently, and a lot of you guys have been asking the question of like, should I add more to my account? I've been killing it for the past 2 to 3 weeks. All I want to remind you is that we all have these like sessions, right? These like very green patches, and then maybe the not so consistent patches. And I think a lot of you guys can agree that you've either been on either side of them or both, right? Therefore, it's all about, scaling, but also feeling comfortable with your doing and having an overall understanding that, you're working really well with the market right now. But, if you continue to grow your account and try to add more and then you become less consistent, you don't want to put more money at risk, especially in such an early stage in your trading, profession. So. Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at gold. Give me one quick second. I just want to see what happens with natural gas, if that's okay. Crude oil is selling off. Okay. Pretty inconsistent, very similar to almost like crude oil. Let's see. Okay, a lot of volatility with the overall market as well. Because of that inconsistency, that's really up to you to decide if you want to partake in that. It looks like it's an overall uptrend, but it's just pretty crazy, right? With how it's performing, you can see overall low points, low points, and high points, but you just want to take into consideration that, because it's so volatile, it can break its pattern, and you want to especially if you're under the PDT rule, waste the day trade when the volatility is so high. That's up to you to decide. Here it goes. We're still not making overall higher highs. Yeah, /CL is so volatile. I don't even know if I want to touch the report. Well, we don't necessarily trade the report, right? It's we trade the reaction. We wait a little bit after and then we trade that. I've never actually, I don't say I have traded the report before, but it's not something that I've done in the past like 2 or 3 years. It's just not something that I enjoy doing. And I learned from my experience, right? Where you try to think that you can get in on either side and then manage your risk with a stop loss and then you sell with a limit order. But like we've seen so many times the past couple of weeks, it can shoot up and then pull back and you'll stop loss out on both of your positions. So a perfect example on, in my experience, why that's not the most effective approach. Crude oil is selling off once again. Wow. So that was quite a bit. It pulled back all the way over here, recovered. Now it's up about 1% since it broke above that EMA line. Here it goes. Oh, look at that. Kind of looks like it's peaking out. Maybe we can give it a little bit more time to consolidate. 100%. The future itself and the actual ETN has no correlation with like its pricing. Just because this is at like 270 does not mean that you guys has to be trading around that same area. So and also make sure that you're following the correct future, that it's not just /NG. Since it's changed, it's been /NG Z19. So make sure that you have the correct one. All right, crude oil found a support. What's going on, Ricky? What's up? Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. So I'm up 27% on the previous week. So from Monday, it's only break even just a little bit, red on 1%. Costas, if you're scared to take a position, it's probably because the dollar amount at risk. So just to get your, just to prove it to yourself, and again, you're doing well the past couple of weeks, all you need to do is, if you're not under the PDT rule and you're open to this, make sure that you're still super selective. You allow that opportunity to present itself, but even just buy one share just to get your feet wet. That's one of the things that you guys have seen me do, during like the pre-market session or normal market hours. As soon as I go live, I don't go in with, a full position. I'll go in and I'll buy $10,000 worth of something, right? And I still make sure that it's in my favor, and I just still lock in profits at any indication of a resistance. It's not to make a profit necessarily, but it's just to kind of like warm yourself up. But think about it like as a professional baseball player. Before they go up and swing that bat, they're practicing their swing on like, I don't know, that not in the dugout, but that little like practice circle thing they do, right? So just think about it that way, that you need to warm yourself up to build confidence, to make sure that you're warmed up to take a position maybe a little bit heavier when you're actually feeling like you are. If you're practicing and you're swinging in that little circle and you're noticing that like your shoulder hurts, you're not going to want to go up and bat because you're hurt, or maybe you just don't feel like you're up for it. Same thing when it comes down to trading. If you're trading with a fraction, 1/10 of what you normally trade with, and you're just not feeling like you're working well with the market, then I feel like that's a pretty good reference. No, is that not a good reference? I feel like that was one of my best references. If you don't think so, then that's your fault. That's your bad. Kidding. I thought that was a good one. Okay. All right. Well, on deck circle. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. Oh, Gio's giving me a thumbs down. Okay. So what percentage of your account is recommended to trade per position of the total account? That's, Giselle, that's something that you have to determine. Again, you have to understand how you react to the market when you take a position. If you notice that you're completely emotional and unstable when you take a position with your overall account size, you have to determine, okay, well, if this thing moves 1 or 2% and I'm still practicing, what dollar amount am I okay putting on the table that moves 1 or 2% that won't affect me, that will still allow me to stick to my plan? Again, everyone is different. I know a lot of you guys, for those that were in the Learn Plan Profit chat yesterday, I asked you guys, and a lot of you guys have much more experience with this, so I got a lot more effective responses. But I asked you, hey, I'm thinking about refinancing my home. What do you guys think about that? And one of the most common questions that one of the most common responses that I got is that it's situational, right? It's different for every person based off of their position and their home. It's the same thing when it comes down to every person and when they trade. When should you lock in profits? Everyone has a different way of doing that. How much should you trade with? Everyone has a different way of doing that. How do you manage your risk? Everyone has a different way of doing that. There's not a better or more effective way because, again, everyone's wired in different ways and we might react to the market in different ways. So it's finding the best way that helps and assists you, right? That's the goal. It's finding working systems that work best for you. And just because they work well for you, it doesn't mean that they're going to work well for, your neighbor, right? So just something to take into consideration. Billy the Kid, what's up? I bought a house a year ago and got a 3.5% rate. Yeah, so after I made that video, one of my buddies that actually works for a lending company offered me 3.75% and reduced closing costs. So therefore, I would receive a return on my investment in 9 months. So that one was a little bit more attractive. Still going to potentially consider it of maybe if I should or maybe if I shouldn't. But it sounds like that one might be my best option. So Costas, I used to feel that way, and let's ask everyone that's watching right now, if you don't take a position throughout the day, do you feel like you lost the whole day? To an extent, sometimes I do, and that's when I'm so consumed about trading, and there's one of two ways to think about it, and it depends on how productive you are throughout the day. If you're efficient with your trading and you set your alerts, yesterday is a perfect example. I did trade yesterday. I took a small loss and I set my alerts, but I was so preoccupied with other things throughout my day that it didn't feel like a waste of a day. I, was working on the dealership. I was working on sending paperwork for one of my properties that I'm buying. I was, working on refinancing my house. There's other things that I was doing with my time. So a perfect way, not a perfect, there's no, right? But a way that I've learned to still have a productive morning and not be so consumed. How many times do you guys feel like you guys wasted the day when all you're doing is just looking at charts and either you don't take a good trade or it's a red trade? And I have found myself to feel more comfortable now more than ever before is because trading is not the only thing that I'm doing now, that I'll set my alerts, and if I see a crazy opportunity, cool. My goal of $500 is not that difficult for me to hit. Therefore, I just know that I can do it within 1 to 2 trades, and it doesn't require that much of my time. So I'll set my alerts, and if that opportunity presents itself, I'll go for it after my alerts are triggered. But until then, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to work with my team. I'm going to work on these other projects that I have going on, and I feel so much more fulfilled throughout the day and not just so consumed about my trades, because trading is literally just being able to identify opportunities. But there is no question, how many of you guys have ever gotten, what is it? It's called like technical paralysis, right? Where you're just looking at so many different charts, everything kind of like just contradicts one another. And with that being said, I think it's most efficient and effective when you become more selective. So do you prefer real estate or trading? I still prefer trading because, I still make more money trading than I do in real estate. But there's no question that there's money to be made in real estate, and I'm trying to connect and network with people that do extremely well in real estate. It's obviously not the best time to invest in real estate, but I'm not allowing that to affect me. I'm still trying to learn as much as I can, and everything and in every way that I approach, a perfect example is this deal that I just bought. That was a wholesale deal. I bought it, and it's going to be my first rehab, as in I'm going to work on flipping it. I know I'm going to make a bunch of mistakes. There's a $40,000 margin of profit, a cushion. Even if I end up going through the full flip, investing all this money, and if I break even, that's okay for me, because I'm going to learn so much through it that it's not even about the money. It's about just learning more about this new area that I know I'm not the best in, that I'm trying to become more familiar with. So it's just, there's a lot of people that join Learn, Plan, Profit that approach trading in the same way, where they're like, I don't ever expect to be solely dependent on trading or day trading or anything like that, but I just want to understand how to recharge. I just want to understand how to actually grow my account. And I think that's a great way of thinking. Like, I don't ever think that I'm going to be solely dependent off of real estate. I just think that it's a great way to, become a little bit more familiar with, as there is money to be made there. So how to calculate the 40K margin of profit? Well, we did comps of previous houses that were similar specs in that neighborhood and what they sold for and what we bought this house for. And it's a $40,000 margin. So I have $40,000 to work with, and our house is a little bit bigger. So we said 40,000 on the safe side is what we have to work with. And that was all set up through, there's a lot of things that I'm learning through Lenny, of putting a hold on the deed, because I bought the house outright. There's a lot of things that to avoid certain fees, and every dollar counts. But people normally, when they buy a house, because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, they don't care about maybe $100 or $500. You guys know that I care about every single dollar. And yesterday, that's what I was working with Lenny on. And there's something that was saving me $35, $100, $500, $1,000. These certain fees that we were avoiding. And think about it. That's huge. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. And just because I'm doing well doesn't excuse being sloppy with your work, right? You work really hard for your money, as I feel like I do as well. Therefore, I want to be effective with it. So everyone here is an LPP. So, but yeah. All right, we got 2 minutes left until the crude oil report. Let's see, we got 1 minute left. Again, just a friendly reminder, if you're in either UWT or DWT and you don't want to be affected by the overall market, then close out your position or forever hold your peace. So may I have Lenny's info? You can message him on Instagram. I've tagged him on Instagram. I'm not allowed to give out his phone number, but feel free to message him and let him know that, if you have any questions, but please be considerate of his time. If you can Google something, Google it. Don't, put him through this whole hassle as he has, so many people he's working with. All right. So /CL, here it goes. We got 15 seconds left. I personally think oil will drop. That's not a suggestion. That's just what I think, which means nothing. I'm not in the position. So 5 seconds left. Oh. Whoa. Did you guys see that? Did you see that push that it had and then that fake out and overall reversal? Was that just me that saw it or no? Did you guys see that push that it had? That strong push that it had and then it overall sold off. Perfect example of why you don't trade both sides. Natural gas pulling back. Alrighty. I kind of got psyched out. That was so quick of how it shot up and then shot down. That was pretty aggressive. Jeez. Where does that put DWT? DWT back at 22, 23. Look at that. Again, it doesn't hold for very long up here. So expect a pullback with crude oil. You always have the best reactions every report. Yeah, one of the main reasons that I love to just trade the report or just watch the report, it's just, I find it interesting. You guys know that's really all it is that I kind of like reacting to it, and a lot of you guys get very excited for it. Ooh, natural gas with a push. Look at that. Ooh. Still looking very bullish. Look, this did not make sense. Overall sold off. Pushed up, look at this, consolidated, made sense on why this would begin to sell off. Everything, the MACD, the MACD, the RSI was all indicating signs of a reversal. A perfect example that indicators are to be used as a reference that are never 100%. This was a fake out where it actually broke below the EMA line, but then just pushed up. This is why you have to be so careful, especially when something is so bullish on the day. So this thing looks like it's shooting. It's definitely pushing. I mostly like watching your reaction to it. Yeah, well, it sounds like you guys just like tuning in. You guys like making fun of my what's it called? References. You guys like laughing at my reactions. All right, but again, nothing crazy. I'm going to wait for a little bit of a better opportunity. Really, the only one that I'm watching is going to be natural gas today. If you guys want to watch crude oil, it looks like crude oil overall is a descending pattern. It's acting very bearish. It's too volatile for me. I just want to be open about it. So I'm going to try to stay away from it. It just doesn't make sense, right? It's just too aggressive, and yeah, there is money to be made, but it comes at too great of a cost. And I'm just not okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, then just simply don't trade it, right? It's that simple. If someone else makes $10,000 off of trading that, great. They accepted the risk. They could have lost $10,000 or whatever, a much greater dollar amount than what you put yourself through. So love the giraffe costume. Yeah, so tomorrow is going to be like our free live trading session. It's the end of the month, it's Halloween. We thought we would make it a little bit funny and more exciting. And I'm going to wear a giraffe costume the entire trading session. So I actually plan on going live from market open all the way to, what's it called? Till after the natural gas report, maybe a little bit longer. So if you guys want to tune in, feel free to invite anyone that you want. So I'm going to be posting the link in the announcement section. If you guys want to post the link on your Instagram and invite people, I'll be sharing the link with you. For all those that just want other people that maybe have friends that have ever been interested in watching a live trading session, this would be the time out of the month that would probably be the best in your best interest to invite them. So I'll post the link maybe in about like 30 minutes, and then you guys can feel free to share it with anyone that you would like to invite. So feel free to wear your costume and send send me pictures through Instagram and tag me on your story, and I'll repost you guys. But let's see. There it goes. Let's see. I'm tempted to get into natural gas. Oh, there it goes. It looks like it's going to begin to potentially pull back. What do you guys think here? Potential pullback for the boys and girls, of course, right? Or you think it's still going to act pretty bullish on the day? Is Weston joining with the cactus costume? I don't think so. So there it goes. Natural gas bounced off that EMA line. Nice. Pascal, how are you doing with your? There it goes. It's still acting bullish. How are you doing? I think you were shorting, right? Natural gas. You must have covered your position by now, no? Trading directly the future. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that, Pascal. Do you think a lot of the reason that natural gas is pushing up right now is all I remember on what's driving the price up for natural gas to be so bearish is the forecast, which the forecast shouldn't last that long. But now I find that natural gas is super overextended, right? So it would make sense that it is due for a pullback, especially when the fundamentals take over of, inventory looking a little high again. Let me know if that's right or wrong. But that's what I was just thinking. I was just like, I just didn't find that catalyst factor of the forecast to be something that that was that great to drive the price up this dramatically for natural gas. Okay. All right. All right. Of course. Definitely, Lucas. Kyle. All right. Sounds good. All right, team. Thank you guys again so much for your time. It looks like natural gas is going there to be bullish, at least on the day so far. Again, don't be afraid to lock in profits. If you don't see an opportunity that's worth taking, call it an early, start to your Halloween and enjoy it. So, really do appreciate you guys' time. Wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. If you guys have any questions about anything that you saw today or about our free live trading session, do not be afraid to send me a direct message on Discord. Shorted/CL again. I'm sure you did, Pascal. That thing is pulling back. So it's just a little bit too volatile for me, but really do appreciate you guys' time. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.